Hi, this is Shanti from Shanti Refuge Journals, and I'm back with Get to Know Me. So I left off with 8th grade. So if you saw my first and second video, I started from the beginning, and now I'm on 8th grade. 8th grade. And my 8th grade year, I went to a new middle school. So I thought of it, and it was because we moved. We moved around a lot when I was a kid. So I figured, okay, new school, new people, new personality, a new chance for people to get to know me, and nothing followed me from when I was at the other school, 6th and 7th grade. So, like I said, I was already sexually active. I think I went into this rebellious stage in 8th grade. I definitely hung around the wrong crowd. Again, still wanted to be liked, still wanted to be, known. And I was known, just not for the right things that a 8th grader should be known for. By this time, I was 13. So, met a friend, we clicked, female friend, we clicked, got along great, and I admired her ability to be herself. She was herself. She wasn't apologetic. It was like, this is who I am, take it or leave it, and I admired that. So, of course, I gravitated to her because that's what I wanted to be. So, I was introduced to skipping school. I don't even remember going to school that much in the 8th grade because I was always skipping. I remember we skipped school one day just to fry chicken. I mean, it's not like we were doing any bad things. We wanted to fry chicken. We wanted fried chicken. And we thawed out some chicken and fried it and smoked up the house. So by the time my mom came home from work, she was like, why is it so smoky in here? And I was like, oh, we cooked chicken before we went to school because she didn't know we weren't at school. And well, stop cooking when I'm not home because I didn't know how to cook. I was learning, I wasn't taught how to cook. And my friend at the time knew how to cook. So, I mean, it's like she was so more advanced than I was. And I was like, okay, why I don't know how to do this? Why don't I do that? Anyway, so this is where I, was getting more attention from the fellas because I didn't look like, nor was I built like an 8th grader. When you see an 8th grader, you think a little girl. I ain't look like a little girl. So, at the time I had a boyfriend, and I thought that, when you had a boyfriend, you're supposed to have sex. That's it. There was no way around that. I thought that was like a requirement. In order for you to have a boyfriend, you have to have sex. And I didn't even want a boyfriend. I just wanted to be liked. So, had a boyfriend. We had sex for the first time, and that was the only time. Because after we had sex, he said, okay, it's over. And I'm like, oh, okay. My feelings wouldn't hurt because he had a little dick. Anyway, so, my feelings wouldn't hurt or nothing. So I was like, whatever. So I told my friend what happened, and she was upset. She was upset when I should have been upset. But again, I didn't know self-worth, self-respect. I didn't, I just wasn't fluent in that area. So she introduced me to someone, and it was an older guy. He was in high school. So I was, okay, whatever, met him. He told me he was 16. So I'm thinking he's like in the 10th grade. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I was like, forget that other one. I got me an older dude, blah, blah, blah. Coming to find out, he was not 16. He was 19. So I told my mom, I said, hey, there's this guy that wants to talk to me, and I think I like him. We got to know. He was nice, of course. So, and he didn't look 19. He looked like a little boy, too. So I didn't think it would be an issue. And I told my mom about it. I was like, hey, this guy, he's not 16, he's 19. And she was like, okay, whatever. If I say you can't talk to him, you're going to talk to him anyway. So she approved the relationship. And we had sex, lots of it. A month later, I ended up pregnant. So I was now 13. No, I was 14. I was 14 and pregnant. So picture a 14-year-old eighth grader. This was at the end of eighth grade year. So 14-year-old eighth grader, pregnant, first kid. I didn't have any feelings about it other than I was afraid of what my grandmother would say. That is the only person who I gave a shit what they thought. I was scared that she was going to be mad at me, disappointed in me. She's the one who took me to the doctor to confirm, because I was lying saying I had my period, but apparently I wasn't hiding. I didn't even notice. I was so in denial that I don't even think I was showing. But when we went to the doctor did an internal examination, because I kept denying I wasn't pregnant. I ain't never had sex. No, not me. Child, I was about 6 months pregnant. And I was still in denial. And my denial was, I was scared. Like, oh my God, this can't happen to me. I can't get pregnant. I mean, but why not? Because again, I wasn't educated on sex, wasn't educated on birth control or anything like that. So, my grandmother told me that, it's okay. I'm not mad at you. You made a mistake and we're going to get through it. I still cried though. I was just crying. She told my mom, and then my mama was like, do you want to keep it? I was like, no, I don't want to keep it, because I have never in my life wanted children, ever. Like when I was a little girl, I used to always say, I'm not having no kids. I'm not getting married. I don't like kids. I still don't. To this day, I don't like kids. But that's another story for another day. But I didn't want it. All I knew was that, I'm not going to be able to live my life with no kid. I have my whole life ahead of me. What am I going to do with a kid? So, arrangements were made to get an abortion. My dad gave me the money to get an abortion. And I was fine with it up until it was time to get one. Then I was like, oh, no, I don't want to. And then my mom told her sister, which is my aunt, she told her what was going on. And she was like, no, don't get an abortion. We'll take care of the baby. We'll take it, raise it as our own. And I was like, okay. In the beginning, I was like, okay, fine. Because, again, I didn't want no kids. But come to find out, not come to find out, but, later on, as it came closer to time for me to give birth, I was thinking about my family and how my family is. And I was like, I don't want 20 years from now, I done gave the baby to my aunt and uncle, and 20 years from now, we had Thanksgiving, and somebody say, that ain't your cousin, that's your mama, because that's how my family is. And so I didn't. I decided to keep her. So I kept my baby. I had her when I was in the 9th grade. December of 1991 is when I had my baby. And I kept her. So I'll talk about being a 9th grader in the next video. So now you know that at this point it's 1991 and I have a baby.